why might some of you hate Ari Shaffir? As always, we're gonna have to look at both sides of the story. So how about we start off with the good? You see, many people see Ari as a beacon of light of free speech and for pushing the boundaries of comedy as a whole. Now, unsurprisingly, this does contribute to people disliking Ari, but we'll get to that in the hate segment of the video. But Ari's intolerance for wokeness and his anything goes mentality definitely contributes to people loving Ari. But with many comedy fans feeling like audiences are becoming too sensitive and getting offended too easily, Ari provides a safe space, if you will, for people who gravitate towards the more dark and gritty style of comedy. And many may argue that this is comedy in its purest form, as being able to laugh and poke fun at things that are labelled as taboo or sensitive provides comics with the opportunity to speak their minds freely and offer humorous perspectives that the audience have never even heard of. Reason number 2, it's obviously his stand-up. I did watch a few of his specials in preparation for this video, and to be honest with you, I didn't really know what to expect, especially considering his offstage antics, which we'll get into later, but I have to say it's not a bad watch. I think he's a decent comic. One of my favourite specials that I watched has to be the Jew special. I thought he offered some interesting insider perspectives about Jewish culture that I had no idea about, and I think a big reason for people loving Ari is that he's not afraid to make fun of himself, and he definitely doesn't take himself too seriously, which will become extremely clear as we move on to the hate segment of the video. Unfortunately for Ari, there's quite a few reasons why people may dislike him, and a lot of the reasons I'm about to discuss I wasn't even aware of before making this video. The first reason for people hating Ari would be his beef and assault on fellow comedian Bobby Lee. For those who don't know, here's a very quick cut and dry explanation of the whole drama. You see, Bobby Lee was assaulted by Ari 3 times. The first being Ari thinking that Bobby sabotaged his relationship with Natasha Leggero, where she would be seeing Ron Peterson behind Ari's back. With Ari being incredibly mad with the situation, he asked Bobby to break into Ron's office and retrieve the emails between Ron and Natasha. I know it's quite the task, isn't it? And you see, Bobby failed to meet this request, and with Bobby failing to meet Ari's demands, he saw this as confirmation that Bobby set Natasha up with Ron. And let's just say, Bobby faced the consequences.
Ari Shaffir beat the shit out of me 3 weeks in a row to the point where I was bleeding out of my face.
Because he just got tired of your stuff, or what?
No, because of Natasha Leggero.
Oh, what happened?
I'm going to just tell you the quick story.
Okay.
When I was on Mad, do you remember Ron Peterson? Canadian guy. Well, I was at the Comedy Store one night, and he goes, "Who's that on stage?" I go, "That's Natasha Leggero." He goes, "She's hot." I go, "Yeah, but she lives with Ari Shaffir." Ron Peterson goes, "All right." And then I walked away because I had another show in the main room, whatever. And then a couple hours later, I was driving him back to the hotel where we were staying at, and he goes, "I got her number." I go, "Yeah, but she's seeing my friend Ari." He's like, "Yeah, but she's gonna go on." So she starts like going to like plays with him, dinners behind Ari's back, right? And then out of nowhere, Ari calls me. "She left me, dude." I go, "Yeah, but," she goes, "You set them up."
Oh, God.
Right? I go, "I didn't set them up. If you don't do this for me right now, this thing I'm going to ask you to do, I know that you set them up. Break into his office at MattyD.
Yeah.
Go into his computer and steal the emails between Ron and
wow.
That's some intense
Natasha."
shit.
So I go, "I can't break into his office at MattyD." So I go, "No, I'm not going to do that." And he goes, "Then you set them up." So that Friday, I show up at the Comedy Store, and I'm checking in at the front counter, and he punches me in the face.
Like for real punches you.
I fall to the ground, and he kicks me in the face like 20 times.
Oh, shit.
Now I'm bleeding. I'm like, almost, coma.
Now, there were 2 other occasions where Ari put his hands on Bobby, but I think outlining this one example demonstrates my point as to why some people may hate Ari. And plus, who would even want to hurt Bobby Lee? Well, what if I told you that there's a slight caveat to this story, as Bobby would later admit that he would purposefully get under Ari's skin whenever they would meet.
And I was like, "Hey, dude, like, it hit me now where you were on this, and I'm pretty mad." And you're like, and then the way you were smiling, like, "Can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing? Let me just say one thing."
Oh, God.
I was like, "Bobby, get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me."
I'll admit I did that.
And you're like, "Let me just say," I was like, "I don't think you hitting, like, how much is this hurting me?" You're like, "Let me just tell you one thing." I'm like, fuck away or I'm going to hit you. And then you kept doing it. And then I just punched you and you fell. So you didn't even give me the satisfaction of fighting back.
I guess that puts this reason in a slight grey area, but you guys can let me know what you think down in the comments. Reason number 2 is spiking. So Ari has admitted that he slips people drugs without their knowledge.
But that's not the only time you dose somebody, though.
No, it's been a few times. It's been a few times. But I'm actually really good at dosing. I've just had a couple like overboards, but really everybody had a good time. I'll stand by it. No one really had a bad time on it.
Any brownie points for honesty? No. But things all went a bit south when he spiked fellow comedian Bert Kreischer with MDMA, which Bert had a really bad reaction to. In a podcast with Bobby, Bert talks about how this event has forever changed the relationship between himself and Ari.
Does she? I know that the whole Ari. And,
she hates his guts.
Okay, yeah.
She hates him in a way that not many people. She really hates him, like really hates him, and that was what bothered me about when he mollied me. I was like, it's so funny. He wants me to release the podcast. I will never release that fucking podcast. It does not make him look. It not only does it not make him look good. First of all, it's proof that he committed a crime. That's number one. And number two, it's just it. He's like, it's funny, and I go, it's not, because you see in my eyes a person who thinks I might die, and you can see that, and I see it clearly. But you also see like me realizing Ari just fucked up our friendship, and I was like, that's what bothered me the most out of it. Is when it happened, I go, you just made it so my kids will hate you. And now my wife will hate you, and you can never come to my house, and I can never go on vacation with you because my wife will always go, don't go. I don't want you going.
Yeah.
And you also made it so that I don't really feel safe around you entirely. And I was like, in the podcast, I kept going, why would you do this?
However, on an episode of JRE, around 2 years later, Bert seemed to clear some things up, and it all seems to be water under the bridge between Ari and Bert.
So tough to explain to people why I love you. And it is.
Oh my God.
It is. You're the sweetest guy that I know. You're the most thoughtful, sensitive, insightful, funniest guy I know. You're one of my favorite human beings alive. And I have to stand next to you drugging me every time to defend you. Every time.
Either way, this is not a good look from Ari, and unsurprisingly, this can lead to a large majority of people hating him. Another reason would be the way that Ari treats the people around him, especially his subordinates or his employees. While I was doing my research for this video, I came across this old clip of Ari having a go at one of his producers that made a mistake which prevented Ari from taking calls from his viewers, and this is how he responded.
Hey, so seriously, Fat Man, what the fuck are you doing? We're really trying to put out a show, and your irresponsibility is really screwing us over. They're laughing, but I'm not joking.
And I have ADD, and I fucking touch shit that I probably shouldn't have touched. That's why the phones aren't working. That's my fault. But in the end, we have the fucking show. It was recorded. The audio is on. Fans can hear it. It was just, that was my fault.
But we couldn't do any of the calls you wanted for the 100 episodes. You should be scrambling right now to fix it, or get the fuck out.
No!
We don't need you.
Don't listen to him!
Call them last week.
Ari, please, hold for a second.
I called. They have no
When?
tech
Did
support.
you call them a week ago?
Yes. All they've been able
When
to
did you
tell
call
me
them?
is to
When
send
did you
it
call
to
them?
them.
Tell me when you called them.
I called them on Friday. I called them on
Is
Thursday.
that a week ago?
I
Is
called
that a
them on
week ago?
Wednesday.
Get out. Just get out. Just go home. We don't want you here. Information. Hold on. You hold the information because you're afraid of being fired because you're worthless. And so the little part you know, you're not letting him do it. So when you're not here,
The views expressed by Ari Shaffir are that of Ari Shaffir.
Sam, he fucked us over last week. We had all these plans and he fucked us.
Okay.
Like, it's at 10 p.m. at night. I'm not joking. Get the fuck out if you're not going to help.
What plans?
Go home.
I've never told any other plans.
We didn't have to tell you our plans. We just assume it's going to work. We don't assume you're going to call us at 10 p.m. and say, can't be there. Also, I didn't train the guy I sit with for 50 straight weeks. Hey, Fat Man, go home. Get out and go home. Go take a smoke break for 2 hours. You're not wanted here. You're adding nothing. Go home. I'm not sorry that I'm hurting you. Get the fuck out of here. Leave. Just leave if you're not going to help. Fix the fucking phones or leave. All right, Fat Man, get out. You're just a distraction. Get the fuck out.
I don't even know how to fix that.
All you do is give us bad drops. Get the fuck out or fix it. Are you moving to fix it or get out? It should be one or the other right now. Then get the fuck out. Then go home. Get the fuck out and go home. You understand me? You fucked over our show 2 weeks in a row. Oh, he's bothering me. Leave, idiot. Just fucking leave. You're not going to help, so get the fuck out. Why am I still talking? Do you understand how this is annoying? Get the fuck out.
I want to talk sports.
Now, I know that many of you would suggest that this was just a joke and Ari was playing up to the camera and putting on a show for the people at home. But whether this was a joke or not, some may say that the way somebody treats those they perceive to be beneath them reveals a lot about somebody's true character and nature. And it's outbursts like this.
Get the fuck out or fix it. Are you moving to fix it or get out? It should be one or the other right now. Then get the fuck out!
That can contribute to people disliking Ari. Now, it wouldn't be a video about Ari Shaffir without mentioning his tweets that he published about the tragic death of Kobe Bryant. I'm sure that all of you watching are very familiar with the situation, but Ari's comments have sparked some discussions around the limits of free speech and the boundaries of comedians and their material, on and off stage. And with Ari constantly pushing the envelope and exploring topics that many comics would be wary of touching, makes Ari a very polarizing figure in the mainstream media. But I'm interested in what you guys think. Do you like Ari? Do you dislike him? Are you a fan of his comedy? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed. And if you've ever wondered why so many people seem to love Shane Gillis, then click the video in the top right.